Parivrajakacharya Ashwatthaya Shabda Shri Srimad Bhai Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Iskan Samstapakacharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. You don't have the book? Nitya Vipavishta Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Sachidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Gaudiya Vedanta Acharya Baladevi Devotion Prabhu Ki Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Shri Narottam Das Thakur Ki Shri Sanatan Bhadranath Shri Gopala Das Raghunath Shadguru Swami Prabhu Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Kunda Thakur Govardhan Ki Shri Vrinda Devi Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Mathura Dham Ki Maya Purnamik Dham Ki Shri Jagannath Pridham Ki Shri Dwarka Pridham Ki Shri Ayodhya Pridham Ki Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi Sudarshan Chakra Ki Jagannath Mandir Ki Gaur Premanande Samadheta Bhaktivinoda Ki Samadheta Bhaktivinoda Ki Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. There's no book. Tato Jayam Udhirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatitya Yuttama Shloke. Maybe you can get Bhakti Vinod Prabhu a chair. Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Srimad Bhagavatam Skanda 6, right? Adhyaya 3, Shloka Sankhya 4. Yamaduta Uchuhu Kati Santiha Shastaro Jiva Lokasya Vai Prabho Traividyam Kurvatah Karma Falabhivyakti Hetavaha Yamadhuta Uchuhu Kati Santiha Shastaro Jiva Lokasya Vai Prabho Traividyam Kurvatah Karma Falabhivyakti Hetavaha. Anybody want to recite this? Yamadhuta Uchuhu Kati santiha shastaro Jiva lokasya vai prabho Traividyam kurvatah karma Falabhi vyakti hetavaha Yamaduta uchuhu Kati santiha shastaro Jiva lokasya vai prabho Traividyam kurvatah karma Falabhi vyakti hetavaha. Ladies? No? Can't see? Yamadhuta uchuhu Kati santiha shastaro Jiva lokasya vai prabho Traividyam kurvatah karma Falabhi vyakti hetavaha. Anyone else? Yamadhuta uchuhu Kati santiha shastaro Jiva lokasya vai prabho Traividyam kurvatah karma Falabhi vyakti hetavaha. Anyone else? Yeah. Yamadhuta uchuhu Kati santiha shastaro Jiva lokasya vai prabho Traividyam kurvatah karma Falabhi vyakti hetavaha. Okay? You want to read it? You want to read? No. It's okay. Padapataha Kati. Oh wait, Kshama kare. Yamadhutaha uchuhu. The order carriers of Yamaraj said, Kati, how many? Santi, are there? Iha, in this world. Shastaraha, controllers or rulers. Jiva lokasya, of this material world. Vai, indeed. Prabho, O Master. Traividyam, under the three modes of material nature. Kurvataha, performing. Karma, activity. Phala, of the results. Abhivyakti, of the manifestation. Hetavaha, causes. The Yamaduta said, English translation by Srila Prabhupada, and purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Yamaduta said, our dear Lord, how many controllers or rulers are there in this material world? How many causes are responsible for manifesting the various results of activities performed under the three modes of material nature? Sattva guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna, question mark. Purport. It's easier for me to read the laptop. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the Yamadutas, the order carriers of Yamaraj, were so disappointed that they asked their master, almost in great anger, whether there were many masters other than him. Furthermore, because the Yamadutas had been defeated and their master could not protect them, they were inclined to say that there was no need to serve such a master. If a servant cannot carry out the orders of his master without being defeated, what is the use of serving such a powerless master? Hare Krishna. That was it. That's all the purport there is. Angala Bhashayam in English. Srimad Bhagvatam Samskrita Bhashayam Bhavati. Natu Angala Bhashayam. Oh, Krishna. So, you know the story. You've been following this every day. Ajamil was a sinful rascal, papachari. He had a beautiful wife and he abandoned her for a Shudrani. And he had 11 children with the Shudra woman. He was a Brahmin who studied Vedas, Vedadhyayanam. He did Vedadhyayanam, and still he gave up Sanatan Dharma and he became a thief or something, right? A thief. Dacoit. Dacoit means a thief. Such rogues are there in every society. The other day, one of our temples, one of our God brothers' temples was attacked. You heard about that? In the USA. Who did it, they don't know. But they actually got a video of the car, so they should be able to. You know, we also had a dacoity in our temple, ISKCON Baroda. Last year before Ram Navami, a thief broke into the temple in the middle of the night. No one was in the temple. The pujari room, he broke the lock. He got into the pujari room and there was a 3,000 rupee, CCTV camera. Actually, it had no connection to any other camera. It was a standalone. 3,000 rupees means cheap. And that camera caught him, but his face couldn't be seen. He was wearing this COVID mask. But the bag that he put the loot in was easily identifiable. And what happened that the police had cameras all over the streets. There are cameras everywhere now. And the cameras caught him getting into an auto rickshaw and going to the hotel near the railway station. And then when they went to the hotel, the police got CCTV camera from the hotel. They got the guy, his face, and with the bag in his hand. And he was caught. He was caught in Nagpur. He ran away from Baroda to Surat, and by CCTV camera, they caught him getting into a bus to Nagpur. And the Nagpur commissioner was a friend of Baroda police. Actually, Baroda police commissioner came and sat 2 hours. He put 100 people on the case. He said, our nose has been cut. We want to catch this thief. And they caught him. We got everything back. Everything. Each and every piece of silver and jewelry was photographed on a scale with its weight by our pujari staff. So dacoits exist everywhere. And lucky the CCTV camera caught the bag. Couldn't catch the face. So Ajamil became a dacoit, a thief. Nobody likes a thief. I think in this country when thieves are caught, they don't wait for the police, they just beat him. Sometimes they kill him also. Actually, Prabhupada has written in another purport, offhand I don't remember, it's in the first canto. It's the duty of the king to kill the thieves and rogues. Mrityu Danda. Prabhupada was very
heavy, very, very rigid. Those who are thieves and rogues don't deserve to live, actually. Now they're not punished. 3 or 4 years in the jail for that theft. We don't know what happened to the thief, actually. Didn't follow up. We were happy we got everything back, and we strengthened the security, and we made a rule that you can't put the real jewelry on the deity. They should have known that. There were a couple gold chains that the guy took right off he was a Hindu, so he didn't break the deities. If the thief wasn't a Hindu, he might have broken the deities also. It's happened. It's happened. Prabhupada said that they can't obviously break God, and that the deity is like a post box. If you worship the deity, it goes to Krishna. So in this case, this thief, Ajamil, died. But when he died, he said Narayana. Now when he said Narayana, he was calling his son Narayana. But he remembered Vishnu. That's what it said before this. So at that time, Vishnu Dutas came and stopped these Yamadutas. You cannot take him because he said the name of Narayana. So Narayana is more powerful than Papachar. So Western devotees are now under attack. And the leader of the attack is a few kilometers away from here. You're fallen gurus, Westerners. But the whole aim of Prabhupada going to the West was to uplift the fallen souls. And Westerners are fallen. They're all, Prabhupada prayed in his poem he wrote on the Jaladuta, that you're taking me to this land of Tamoguna where everyone is eating meat and drinking alcohol. Actually, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had sent 2 of his disciples to London long before Prabhupada went to New York. And one of them wrote back that the people here, they only want to eat meat. So Bhaktisiddhanta wrote back, serve meat but preach. Their preaching efforts were not so successful. They weren't successful. I'm just saying. So, Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta, both of them, and Bhaktivinoda before him, wanted the Westerners to become devotees. Now, if some Westerners fall down, can you blame Bhaktivinoda or Bhaktisiddhanta or Prabhupada? No, but they're not blaming Prabhupada, they're blaming ISKCON. But who started ISKCON? Prabhupada. So they are, I don't know what they are. What should we say? What are the words? Not good words. They're not good. Fault finders. Utopians. Today in the morning I was, writing that somebody posted this criticism of an ISKCON sannyasi, called him a Christian sannyasi. Because I'm not, but most Westerners are from Christian families, the majority, right? Everyone is not a Christian in the United States. You know that, right? Anyway, I said, you are shielding the name. Who said this? He doesn't want to reveal the name. Somebody sent, he said, I didn't write this, somebody sent it to me. Tell us their name. Oh, they're a group of people who want to stamp out rampant child abuse and guru fall downs in ISKCON. Rampant child abuse. I wrote back, baloney. I mean, nonsense, Rampant child abuse. What's it called? Not libel, there's another word. Like libel, When you want to impugn the reputation of somebody. Slander. Rampant child abuse in ISKCON. It's nonsense. It happened, but it's not everybody's not engaging in child abuse. They amplify the faults. So they're the Ramchandra Puris, right? Ramachandra Puri was a godbrother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guru. And when he came to visit Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed him all respect, and then he said, there are ants here, so you must be eating sweets, you're not a good sannyasi. Fault finding. So in this world there are thieves and rogues like Ajamil, and there are fault finders. You are not perfect. But who is perfect? We don't live in a perfect world. We are, or as one of our godbrothers used to say, if you're taking a shower, somebody should not say you're dirty. You're trying to get off the dirt. Sadhana is like that. Practice of bhakti, you're trying to purify yourself. Ajamil was a much more exalted person than, his background, his training was much higher than most of us. Studied Vedas, was a Brahmin. But he fell down. And still he got moksha. This whole story is how that rascal, Ajamil, he was a rascal. Papachari, thief, who should be killed by the king, got moksha. Why? The power of the name, Harinam. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. Your power is in your name. So we're followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this is his Shikshastakam, these are his teachings. And Bhagavatam is giving the same instruction here. If you chant Narayana, we never chant Narayana. Oh, Nam Namakari Bahuda, your name has many forms. Some of us are very fanatic. Only Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? Am I wrong? But that's not what Mahaprabhu said. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, what do they say? He said, Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. Not only Hare Krishna. Of course, the fanaticism went the other way. I don't think you understand what I mean, so I'll explain it. After the disappearance of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the Gaudiya Math broke, right? You know the history? You don't know the history. Thank you for being honest, Mataji. Because many people here, they may not even... Who heard the name of Gaudiya Math? Who heard the name? Mostly everybody. So it broke up. It didn't break into two, it broke into many. So, but there were two main groups, and then they also split. But one of those groups, this is a historical fact, stopped chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra for 20 years. And they said, why? Why they stopped Hare Krishna Mahamantra? You shouldn't sit like that, by the way. Oh, because the deities are not open. Because it is not in Chaitanya Charitamrita or Chaitanya Bhagavat, the Mahamantra. It's not there. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan is there. But after 20 years, what happened? Bhakti Vinod Thakur wrote a poem. Nam Gai Gora Madhur Sware Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So then they started chanting again, but they had to put before that, Nam Gai Gora Madhur Sware. This is a true story. So we should not be fanatic. There are, Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis is written by Mahaprabhu. You have many names. Narayana is one of the names, according to this story of Ajamil. So when Ajamil said Narayana, Vishnu Dutas, they stopped the Yamadutas, and Yamadutas became angry. How can you stop us? They were never stopped. This is a tough one, right? Tough one to understand anyway. Was Ajamil the first person to say Narayana? I can't say. But Srimad Bhagavatam is like this. He said Narayana, and the Yamadutas got angry and they went to Yamaraj, and then they spoke like this. We thought you are the Supreme Lord, but actually Yamaraj is not the Supreme Lord. He's a Devata. He's doing the job of Vishnu, Narayana. Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyajate ante kalevaram tam tam evaiti konteya sada. No, the other one is anta kale chamam smaran muktva kalevaram. If you remember me, it doesn't even say the name. If you chant my name, it doesn't say. Gita says anta kale chamam eva smaran muktva kalevaram. If you just remember me, you get free from punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. So, tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. Therefore, always remember me and fight. It's not that we shouldn't perform our varnashram duties. I think the gopis in Vrindavan, they were performing ordinary household. There's a shloka in Bhagavatam, in the Dashamaskanda, 44th chapter. I can't remember it. That while they were performing their household duties, it mentions Dadhimantanam, cleaning, boiling the milk, this thing, that thing, milking the cows. They would chant the glories of Krishna. They would always remember Krishna. Even though they were not IIT graduates. No, they didn't have that degree. Didn't have it. They didn't go to college. They didn't have a career. They didn't have a career? What kind of people were they? What kind of Gramin? Oh, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi Sudarshan Chakra ki, Shri Bangalore Ishwar ki, Lakshmi Narasimha Swami ki, Shri Gaurnitai ki. Hare Krishna. Who are these gopis that they are the topmost devotees of Krishna? They don't have a career, they don't have a degree, they don't have a flat in Bangalore. They were living in, kutiyas and just looking after cows. Why are they glorified in the Bhagavatam? Because they were always thinking of Krishna. So it doesn't matter, Draupadi and Kunti live in a palace. Raja Vaibhavam, right? You know this expression? Raja means a king. Rajanyaha, the royal order. Vaibhavam, all kinds of opulences. Kunti Devi had, and Draupadi had all kinds of, and slaves. We shouldn't, now the word slave is a very horrible word. But actually they had slaves. So Prabhupada didn't use the word slaves. What did he use? Made. Thank you. Bilkul sai uttar. You are karodon ka prashansa. Instead of karodon ke rupiya, karodon ka prashansa. You said the right answer. Prabhupada referred to the slaves as maid servants. But they were slaves. They had no other life. But they weren't like living in a prison. Do you think slavery is like a prison? It's terrible. Vedic culture is like that. Described in Shastras like that. The maid servant is the English translation, right? It's not the Mula Sanskritam. Even I don't know what the Mula. Sevakaha, right? Dasi. Dasi, dasa is a slave, servant. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram. Kinkar means servant. But in Sanskritam, kim kartavya, what should I do? The servant asks the master. So here the Yamadutas are the servants of Yamaraj. But still they were upset. Even though they shouldn't be angry with their master. He's their Lord. Yamaraj. He's like a Raja. Why did this happen? Who is the Lord? They perform papas, they should be punished. They were startled, surprised. So the power of the holy name is the response. And there's a famous verse that's coming up, right? Dharman sakshat tu bhagavan pranitam. Dharma is instituted by Bhagavan. Dharman sakshat tu bhagavat pranitam. Pranitam, he instituted it. Who made this Sanatan Dharma? Vishnu, Krishna. And the aim of Sanatan Dharma is order in the material world and gradual progression towards liberation of the soul from the material world. Material world means punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Born again and again and again. I have to look at what's the time? 8:40. And it's supposed to go till 9 o'clock. Somewhere there's a timepiece. Can you take a few pictures? 8:41. Thank you. The purport was very brief. Who wants to work with a powerless master? Powerless. That is a dilemma. That is a dilemma. I think in the Puranas, there are many kings who were defeated and became, prisoners and servants of another king. So that wasn't very pleasing. Mahabharata has such stories also. Who was the king that, who was the king that became living in the forest because he lost his kingdom? I'm not remembering right now. No? Nobody knows? Hare Krishna. But there's a story in Mahabharata like that. One king lost his kingdom. He was living in the forest. He had nothing. He was living like a hermit. Then how he got his kingdom back. Story like that. There are no kings now. No kings, democracy. Ganatantra. They count heads. But the thing with the democracy, that the people who are voting, they're not fit to choose who should be the ruler. They're not fit. So it's illogical. But what to do? Looks like we can't stop it. We don't have the power. Powerless master. Power is important. Power is important. We have some limited power, right? We have this, wonderful facility for preaching Krishna Bhakti, this temple, nice deities, good crowd on Sunday. Today is not bad, but Sunday was packed. So power is important. Sangha Shakti, the power of association, institution. If you're alone on your own, wandering like Shukadev didn't have an institution, right? Just wandering, going to Grihasta's house for milk and staying for a few minutes so he could get fresh milk. That was it. He didn't belong to an institution. Narad Muni, he didn't need an institution. But they had special power. Power from austerity. How do you get power? In Bhagavatam, in Vedic literature, tapasya. Tapasya gives power by performing tapasya. When we read about the tapasya performed by great devotees, it's amazing. Vasudeva and Devaki performed how many years? 50,000, I think. What? Sutapa and, what were their names? Sutapa? Prishni and Sutapa. 50,000 years of tapasya. How we cannot do Nirjala Ekadasi also. One day. So many delightful preparations were made on Ekadasi. Day before yesterday. So many delightful items. But Ekadasi you're supposed to fast. Shouldn't eat anything and drink anything. For one day. 50,000 years. So yeah, a lot of power you get by performing that type of tapasya. A lot of power. Now that power should be either used properly or it can be misused. Hiranyakashipu had the power, but he didn't worship Vishnu, so he was defeated, killed, destroyed. But people may say, well, devotees, they're also suffering. Some devotees are suffering. Paritranaya sadhunam vinayashaya chadushkrita. But Krishna says in the same Gita, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashiti. How is that? Bhaktas don't suffer. But sometimes we see devotees, they leave their bodies in accidents. It's happened. Not once, several. But not everyone. So what does it mean? Name bhakta pranashiti. So a devotee, whatever happens, he takes it as the will of the Lord. Even if it seems to be viparitam, what is that? Unfavorable. Even if it seems to be unfavorable, you don't know. Just like in Mahabharata, Shantanu married Ganga. He didn't know she was Ganga. And when she put the children in the Ganga, he couldn't say anything. After 7 children were born, she put them in the Ganga. Viparitam, right? It seems totally unfavorable, totally contrary to logic and reason. Then when the 8th child, she was about to put, Shantanu stopped her. Why, you cruel woman, why are you killing your children? Then she said, I'm Ganga. And all of these were the Vasus who were cursed to take birth. Who cursed them? I forget. Anybody know? Who cursed the Vasus? Yes, Mataji? No, who cursed the Vasus to take birth? Right, Bhishma was cursed to live in the material world. No, but my question, who cursed them to be born in the material world? I can't know. Do you remember? It should be one name, like Lord Shiva or some Devata. You don't remember this? Could she answer the question? Vasishta. Vasishta cursed. Okay. So curse of Vasishta. Yeah, that sounds properly, as far as I can recall. So they had to suffer in the material world. But they were born, and immediately when she put them in the Ganga, they went back to Devaloka. Right? Vasus are in Indra Swarga, as far as I understand. So it's hard to understand. Sometimes it looks unfavorable for a devotee. But if they're drowned in the Ganga and they go back to the Swarga Lokam, it's not unfavorable as such. It's favorable. And Bhishma had to suffer living in the Kuru Vansh. He had to suffer in the material world, but he got this, what is it? Vara. Icha Mrityu Vara, thank you. He got the benediction that he could die of his own will. And then he did that. He did that. And anybody who seems to die when they want to, there are other people, then Bhishma is remembered. Like I've heard stories. My grandfather said, today I'm going to leave my body, and they left their body. So it's like Bhishma. Oh, that's rare. That's rare. So a devotee who is Name Bhakta Pranashyati, my devotee never perishes. So if it's the will of the Lord to take that person to another destination, that's what we consider. We cannot prove it in the court of law. Cannot prove it. But it's considered. Even if they apparently died in some horrible way, or in not in old age, but in youth. So it was the will of the Lord if that was a devotee, right? He took him. Because death is not in our hands. And if you commit suicide, then you can say, well, death is in my hands. But that's actually papachar. Suicide is papachar, and you have to suffer in the material world for that. It's not moksha. It's mistaken to be moksha. So, devotees, they don't commit suicide. Because Papa, one devotee committed suicide, one godbrother, in 1992. How many years ago is that? 33? 33. Poor guy jumped in front of the train that goes from Mathura to Vrindavan, left his body by suicide. So one sannyasi said that it was an aparad, what he did. It was an offense. Because his body didn't belong to him, it belonged to his guru. So that's one outlook of Gaudiya Vaishnav, that when you take shelter of the guru and surrender, that you're giving your life to your guru. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is like that. Atmanivedanam, surrender. So the body doesn't belong to you. So you have no right to end that body. So that you offended your guru by committing suicide. Long time ago. Seems like yesterday. Because that devotee used to land in India, throw away his shoes and come and visit me. Come and visit me. So I remember. So we want to get out of punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, but suicide is not the way. Remembering Krishna at the time of death is the way, but that's up to Krishna when the time of death comes, unless you're Bhishma or like Bhishma. So did I catch it up to 9? We can ask for questions now. What did I do? Oh, we have 6 minutes. We can run over if there are any questions. Yes, Prabhu. 1 minute. Mic is on the way. This is a superior temple because you have a cordless mic. Last night I went to an inferior temple. They didn't have a cordless mic. No, but they will get one. It's on the way. Just joking, because it's also Krishna's temple. Nice. Yeah, go ahead.
Prabhuji, my question is that, as you told, that powerless master, and we require the association for that power of association of people. So, actually, there are so many institutions and so many people are together, and it is like fighting of ISKCON with different
breakaway,
because they want to do sense retivation. They are engaging people in sense retivation. Even they are taking money from people and engaging them in sense retivation. And ISKCON is trying to help people by bringing them to Krishna. And so, how to actually convince those people who are in those organizations that they should come to ISKCON?
It's a good question. Ye api anya devata bhaktaha yajante shraddhayanvitaha. You know this shloka in Gita? No? Ye api, those who worship other devatas. Ye, those, api, certainly. Anya devata bhaktaha, they're devotees of other devatas. Ye api anya devata yajanti shraddhayanvitaha, and they worship those Devi devatas, Durga Devi, Lord Shiva, etc. The devatas, Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi. You know, they worship other Vayu, Agni, Agnaye Swaha, Agnaye Idam Namama, but we don't do that. Smartas do that. We do Vishnave Swaha only for Vishnu, right? So, ye api anya devata bhaktaha yajante shraddhayanvitaha tepi mameva konteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. Their worship is wrong, but it comes to me. So the people that worship them, it will go to Krishna, I think. It will go to Krishna. But they're not pleasing Prabhupada by breaking away. Somebody, I won't mention his name, wrote in a private message that our good friend who lives a few kilometers away is like Pakistan. Because Pakistan separated from Hindustan so that the Muslims could have a better life. But actually the Muslims in India are better off than the Muslims in Pakistan. Isn't it? What to say? You know, what can be said? Prabhupada wanted a unified movement, but somebody wants to be Raja. He wants to be king. So he'll never come back to ISKCON because he can't be the whole and soul king. Not possible. And in order to maintain his position as whole and soul king, he has to say ISKCON is full of fallen gurus, rampant child abuse. You know, it's a canard. You know this word, canard? Canard means it's a lie. It's a lie. Who is perfect? We are not perfect. That's a fact. We're not perfect. To be a Brahmin, you had to study Vedas in your childhood. In South India, more than any other part of India, you have Brahmins who study Vedas. Right? In Maharashtra also there are many still Vedic Brahmins. Used to be whole India. But India got smaller when Pakistan was created. Actually, there's some Hindu temples still going on. The most famous one is Hingalaj Mata, Durga Devi in Baluchistan. They haven't destroyed it. Still there. But we are not training people to be Brahmanas by study of Vedas. Oh, we say Vedaischa sarveraham eva vedyaha. If you know Krishna, you know the Vedas. But actually, Krishna and Balaram went to the Sandipani Gurukul and studied Vedas to teach the society. This is the real real means Vedic educational syllabus. But we are IIT Namo Namaha, Career-aya Namaha, Career Swaha, Career Makrite, Mama, Idam Mama. I want a career. Dhanam apekshate. I want money. Anyway, so they're also not perfect. If we are not perfect, they're not perfect. So on what basis do they claim perfection? That's all ahankar. I'm better than you. That's only ahankar, that's all. So and then if these mission is meant to please the acharyas, and the acharyas wanted a unified mission, and they don't want a unified mission, so whose fault is that? Is it the acharya's fault? No, they don't want to follow the acharya. You see, there's something called narcissism in English, but in Sanskritam, what is it? Ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. I am wonderful. You are full of faults. You people are full of faults. We are perfect. Ishwaroham aham bhogi, siddhoham balavan sukhi. It's demoniac in a sense. But in another sense, they're chanting Hare Krishna. So, the only thing I can think of is ye api anya devata bhaktaha. They're also bhaktas. They're worshipping Krishna, but avidhi purvakam. They're not pleasing Prabhupada because he wanted unified ISKCON. Otherwise, why did he create ISKCON? Then, of course, he knew that there would be branches. This gentleman a few kilometers away is not the only breakaway from ISKCON. Others have broken away. Some went to Prabhupada's godbrothers. Some went to his godbrothers' disciples. Some became gurus on their own. You might have heard of Tulsi Gabbard, right? She happens to be a cabinet minister in the United States government. And her parents are disciples of a Prabhupada disciple who still calls Prabhupada Jagat Guru, but he calls himself Jagat Guru. And he has thousands of followers in different places, not in India. They never come to India. Tulsi Gabbard came to India twice, that's all. Recently, this year was the second time. Prabhupada told his disciples, come every year to Mayapur. Come every year to Mayapur. Meet and plan how to expand our movement. But some of those disciples, they became Jagat Guru, but they don't come to Mayapur. What to do? What can we do? But Tulsi Gabbard is a powerful politician. She says, I'm a Hindu. She swore oath of office on Bhagavad Gita. She visited ISKCON in Vrindavan in Delhi. She's not in ISKCON. She says, Krishna, I'm a Krishna Bhakta. Krishna Janmashtami is the most wonderful festival. So, what is it? We have to be gunagrahi. You know this expression? Gunagrahi. Take the good, the guna, see the good thing. So they're doing good also. They're doing good. They don't want to be united with us. And they're committing Vaishnava aparad, actually. But they're also doing good in their own way. Hard to see from our angle of vision. What to do? Be gunagrahi. This is Kali Yuga, Kalaha. The human population, they like fighting. Actually, there's bloody fighting going on, right? Israel, Gaza, Iran, Ukraine. Ukraine, ISKCON had 25 centers. Now the position of ISKCON in Ukraine, astavyast. It's all disturbed by the war. And these wars, if you look at history, they just go on and on and on. It's Kali Yuga. Kali Yugam. Manipur right now is not in a good shape. Right? Manipur is not in a good shape. Manipur is in India. So, Kali Yuga is Kalo Nashta Drisham, right? Bhagavatam says, the people in Kali Yuga, they have no right way of thinking and acting. Otherwise, there wouldn't be this big city like this, where it takes 2 hours to go from point A to point B. People used to walk through peaceful villages for hours and hours. Yeah, they used to walk and maintain their health. Here you drive in cars and you ruin your health. You might get killed also, you know. Today I read a story, bicyclist killed on the highway in California. But poor guy, you know, he was a bicycle enthusiast, and he came to a junction where there had been many accidents, and the car hit him. And they arrested the driver. They said, well, we're not pressing charges. It was an accident. It wasn't on purpose. So anyway, padam padam yadavi padam. This is the material world. There's danger at every step. (9:05). I went over the time. But if there's any more questions, I'm willing to sit here. Any other question? Yes, Mataji. Mike, thank you. We have a technical issue. Okay, it's working.
Thank you for the class, Prabhu. If like Yamraj is a Mahajan, we know, no?
Right.
So, how come his servants do not know that Krishna is the Supreme Master?
Good question. Hard to answer that, but like how do the people in Russia not know that Krishna is the Supreme? It's ignorance. Ignorance due to circumstances. It's a good point. I mean, they should know. They should have known, right? They shouldn't ask this question. They shouldn't have been surprised when the Vishnu Dutas, but this story is in the Bhagavatam. So we are devotees of the Bhagavatam. Nigama kalpa taruhu galitam phalam. What is it? The other one is, no, not that one, the next shloka. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. Parama dharma. This is according to Bhagavatam, Parama dharma. Actually, Bhagavatam is not Vedas. It's not Vedas. Bhakti Vinod Thakur said, if all the Shastras went away and only the Bhagavatam was there, you know, that would be okay. But actually, Bhagavatam and Gita, both of them admit that the supreme Shastras are Vedas. Veda Stuti is there in Bhagavatam. The personified Vedas, glorifying Vishnu. So, Vedaischa sarver ahameva vedyaha, we agree. Krishna is the aim of Vedas. So, those who follow Vedas are Vaidikas, and they should know Vishnu is supreme. And how Yamadutas, they don't know that, it's very hard to understand. But 99% of humanity doesn't know Krishna. Well, maybe not 99%, but outside of Bharata, they don't know Krishna is Ishvara, right? In India, there are big temples of Krishna, Tirupati Balaji, Srirangam, Kanchi, Vardaraja, Udupi Sri Krishna, Pandharpur, Rukmini Vittal, Dwarkadish, Badrinarayan, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. So, Prabhupada had told us that in India everyone is more or less Krishna conscious, but not outside. Not outside. Chinese, they don't know. ISKCON is doing good preaching in China. That is very quiet because, government is Nastika. ISKCON is not doing such wonderful preaching in Japan where it's free. You can go out and preach. Actually, you can preach in China also. It's going on. But the people don't know who is Krishna. So the answer would be circumstances. They didn't know. For whatever reason. Bhuta Preta Ganan, Bhuta Preta Ganaha. There are Bhutas and Pretas, they don't worship Krishna, they worship Shiva. Right? Lord Shiva is Gananayaka, Ganapati is the son of Shiva. Bhuta Preta Ganaha. So, Bhutanath, Shiva, right? Bhutanath, and what other words are there? Bhairava, and all these names of Shiva. So they don't know Vishnu, they only know Shiva. And so many Shaivites are there, they don't know Vishnu. But they're Hindus and they believe in Vedas. So we may disagree with their upasana. Ye api anya devataha bhaktaha. Ye api anya devata bhaktaha. They are worshipping other devis and devatas. Palani Swami, big temple is there, near Coimbatore, in the hills. So many devis and devatas are being worshipped. So, is it bad? No, it's good because they're following the Vedic system. They will, Teyapi, what is it? Teyapi mameva kaunteya, it will come to me. Krishna told Arjuna, it will come to me. So the Yamadutas learned, they became Prabuddha, right? Prabuddha means enlightened, that Vishnu is the supreme, not Yamaraj. So circumstances must have been like that. That's all we can say. Just like circumstance, if you're born in a Shaiva family, you never think of going to Vishnu temple. Then maybe, what is that? There's a Vishnu temple also. The parents will only take the children to the Shivalaya, or the devotees of Shiva's son, Skanda, Palani Swami, they may only go there. One of the so big spiritual leader, he used to chant Govinda Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Shiva 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 Subramanyam. They think it's the same. But we don't believe it's the same because of Gita, Bhagavad Gita. We accept Gita as one of the important shastras, and Adi Shankara also said Gita, Prasthana Trayi. He invented that Prasthana Trayi. Gita is one of them. Then Krishna says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha, and they don't accept that. They think Shiva is the same as Krishna. But we also think we have Kshiram Yatha Dadi Vikara Vishesha Yogat sanjayate nahi tataf pratigasti heto. There's no difference between Shiva and Vishnu. It's like milk and dahi. But we don't worship, we actually worship Shiva sometimes, isn't it? Like in Yoga Pit, the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, backside there's a Shiva Linga temple, is there? So we're not opposed to their Haryana Kshetra in Navadvip Parikrama. Shiva and Vishnu are together worshipped. I go to Ujjain, I have to see Mahakal. Every time I go and visit Mahakal. They say Mahakal Nagari, but that's where Krishna and Balaram went to Sandipani ashram. So it's not that we don't go to Shiva, we also go. But we don't consider the topmost form of Godhead to be Shiva, to be Krishna. Okay. Any other question? It's very late. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Thank you for coming. Bahut bahut dhanyavad. Or what should I say? Dhanyavada Galu. Dhanyavada Galu. Karnataka Bhasha.
So Hare Krishna, it's been a great fortune to have the association of His Grace Basughosh Prabhuji from past couple of days. So let us thank Prabhuji for his kind association by one time loudly chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhuji has been traveling very extensively and he has extended for all of us and again given a class. So we would like to thank him and request him to come again. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Devotees can proceed for prasadam below.